Hello, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So it's trend follower this side again with the weekly forecast with the zones that I think are important for the week. So I'm here to look into and study some of the zones and share some of the zones and share some of the reasons of the trades that I see can be really beneficial for you this week. I should say I'm mainly a supply and demand trader. I do mix it up. I add supply demand, ICT concepts, and support resistance all, and try to find the good zones. And I think these are fairly useful for everyone. So I try to share it with you guys. So it's again that time of the week. We'll plan this week. We'll share some of the zones which are important and and hope that the price action or price during the week comes there and reacts. But it's all about risk management. It's all about probabilities. So I wanted to explain what are the important zones today and what are the why they are important. So before starting any week, what I usually like to do is make sure that to know about the news that's happening this week. So I wanted to share that first. Before anything, it's always about the news because that brings volatility and that increases the probability if you're on the right side. It increases the risk to reward if you're on the right side. So in terms of the news, the most important news before even the most important news, it would be Jan 19th week, right? So these are the red folder news. I focus mainly on red folder news. And in these red folder news, what I see the most important news is wrong button. Let me just remove this. So the most important news would be where is that? JPY. JPY. Last week, I kind of messed up with JPY. Uh, it did what I thought, but then I didn't take any trade in JPY because I wanted to make sure the market gives me the direction, clarifies the direction it wants to go in, which I will share in today's chart. But point being, JPY is the most important pair coming this week. The next one would be uh, CAD, right? It has CPI news. Then NZD has CPI news. Then later in the week, it's Euro and GBP, PMI. So for me, the most important is JPY, CAD, and ZD, right? Uh, so I should say the most important is JPY, the next is CAD and NZD, and the third is obviously GBP, Euro, USD, all others. But I would give the most importance to JPY, and I will explain why later. The next part after the news that I really want to understand is in terms of price action, uh, in terms of strength in the previous week, previous days, which currencies have been acting really strong and really weak. And my tool gave the signal on JPY and GBP where 85 points and 100 points. So last week, basically, JPY showed a lot of strength and GBP showed a lot of weakness. So, what we will do is we will utilize that knowledge and find the pairs which are good, right? So, to reiterate, news-wise, JPY most important, CAD NZD second. Strength-wise, GBP is damn weak, JPY is damn strong, right? So, that's where our majority focus would be. Now let's go into the zones that I have marked out for you guys, and I would like to also explain why I think they're important. Remember, sometimes these zones don't work, but you should understand why they're important because majority times they work, and when they work, they will give you 3, 2 RR, and that's how like you have to manage risk and get your 2 RR, 3 RR, take the money and get out, right? So it's all about probability. So I want to explain my reasoning so that if it matches with your thought process, then you will be able to stay in the trade because you understand the reasoning. So let's first go with GBPJPY. So in this pair, I really like this daily zone. Now, why do I like that? This daily zone is just above this weekly line, this one. Ah, wrong. This one, right? Secondly, if we were strong, this was a good weekly demand. It should have bounced from here, but now we have a daily supply here, right? So that would be my first and foremost, like for me, the most important area. Can I fall below before this? Yes, but I would just trade quality. I would just focus on the quality I see. So this would be the first one. But also there's one more. If you look at monthly, this was, let's just, I cannot like, can I do this temporarily? Let's remove this, right? So in monthly, this was a bearish engulfing, this candle, right? So if we were weak, uh, we could have rejected here, but we didn't. We made a bullish engulfing. Now we are back around that area. So I think this is also an important area. So let's bring our line back, and this line has been marked by blue. So now look at this. Why is this area damn important now? So we have our weekly line, right? A daily supply, one of the monthly line that I showed, right? So what I think can happen is depending on what Monday does, like with news and everything, if it goes down even better, a little bit, but what I think can happen, what I would like to see is rejection here and price action here. Remember, we have these, this is a very important news. So if you are right about the trade, the RR can be really good, right? So I would say for me, this is the trade plan that I'm focusing on. So that would be GBPJPY. Next is CADJPY. CAD I love so much because if you see, it is rejecting from this weekly supply, right? It did its consolidation, now rejection. So with CAD, there are two zones. One is this zone, right? But this is the weekly line, and I believe that it would not be very easy to reach to this zone, right? So, yeah, right. So I think it can just reject from here. I usually what I will do is I may increase my risk to double and take 2 RR or 3 RR when it comes here. Right, sorry, 2 RR or 1.5 RR, whatever, right? But I will double risk it. But my if my entry is somewhere here, my stop loss would still be here, right? In most of my accounts. The only place where that would not happen is if it's one of my accounts where I risk just to, like a lotto kind of thing, like where I take some risky trades. If you want to increase the probability of trade, I do think it can reject here, but if you want to increase the probability of trade, the best bet would be when USDJPY comes here, and I will go through USDJPY again, and let's say CADJPY is here, then you can take it, right? So that will increase your probability. So this is CADJPY. I do think this zone is great, and there's a zone here which I want to show. Let me show it. So 12 hour, there is a zone here. It is fresh, so that's good. So I think 12 hour this zone and 8 hour this zone. Here we have some nice probability. Point being, you really want to enter after we enter this price. So this zone and this zone, I think important where I'm focusing on 12 hour and for this zone. So I forgot to mark it. Let me ah 12 hour this zone and why isn't it show? Oh, it's a big block. That's why. Anyway, let me just fix it. Okay, 12 hour this zone and daily this zone. Uh, Ideally, it matches with USDJPY. That's when I would enter because for me, under JPY pairs, EURJPY and GBPJPY plus NZDJPY and an odd JPY are more in sync. So, for example, what I mean by that, they both had a down close on weekly. So we have weekly down close of GBP, JPY, and also on Euro JPY. That's not true for CAD JPY and USDJPY. With CAD JPY, you have a weekly down close, but with USDJPY, you don't. Anyway, we'll come back to it. So next one I wanted to talk about is GBPAUD. With respect to GBPAUD, what I think is I really love this zone a lot, right? So this is the zone I really like. Again, if you see, this is above this weekly. Damn, is the weekly level. This zone is above the weekly. It covered by daily zone. Can it? It is very much possible that it just rejects from here. But I try to take the preferred zone because it really helps with my risk to reward. Preferred zone is where I use the body instead of the whole candle. So you can argue that, oh, it will just reject from here. Yes, it is possible, but I would rather focus on the body and so that I can get better risk to reward. So this zone is the one I really like on GBP or and similarly on GBP NZD I like this zone a lot. Remember, odd is more stronger than NZD. That may change or not according to news, but most probably this would be better because GBP odd would be better because Australian dollar has been acting more stronger than New Zealand dollar. So this section that I just went through is my first priority, where we are focusing on GBP JPY, that zone, CAD JPY, this zone. I doubt it can come here, but again, just to be safe, GBP odd this zone and GBP NZD this zone. So we covered JPY, NZD, or GBP news also, right? So these are some very high quality trades that I wanted to talk about, right? So next section is on again JPY, but I wanted to show one thing, which is on USD JPY. This this line, this zone is damn important because let me just reduce this to this. This is the weekly supply, right? So it comes from here. Then if you look at monthly, we are in that monthly candle, which was bearish engulfing candle, right? So I do think if it comes down, we can target this zone. But point being, this zone is very important. So I really think, let me just to clarify this. Make it more clear. So we are coming down from a weekly and monthly zone. So it can further come down. So what I really like is if we can get this. This level is damn important. We have a zone here. So this zone is damn beautiful. If it does that, right, then we are definitely looking at 3-4 RR, right? So this is what I really like about USDJPY. Next, I want to talk about EURJPY. So with respect to EURJPY, what is important to note is we had a daily supply here, daily demand here, this line, right? Now we got rejected there. We have a weekly supply instead now, exactly on that level, like exactly we have a preferred weekly supply level, and above this we have this daily bearish engulfing. So within this there is a 8 hour supply, right, which you can target, but whatever you target, your stop loss still should be here. So that's what my thought process is on EURJPY. What I really don't like so much about this is this big difference, but I would some like in these cases, what I really like is if it comes here, then it's a great trade. So with EURJPY, there are two zones which I really like. One is this here, where stop loss would be above this. One is this here, right? Because this is right in that bearish engulfing of weekly. So this daily zone is covered by weekly zone. This 8 hour zone is covered by daily zone. So both of these are good areas, right? I don't think that it would be very easy to, you know, pass this area because if you see, last time we got rejected right here. So let me show EURJPY on daily. So if you do see, we rejected right here. So I think it's tough for it to break all this. So I think what is possible is something like this. At least that's what my focus would be on Euro JPY. What I will do around it is combine it with GBP JPY area, and I will explain that. And when we go, oh, the area I already explained, right? So if there's a combination, then it makes sense, right? So what I would like to see is that combination happening between Euro JPY and GBP JPY. So that was Euro JPY. So next, let's go to odd JPY. All right, so now let's focus on odd JPY. So remember, odd and NZDJPY both have weekly down close candle. What I like about these in particular, NZDJPY, is look at these. Where did that go? Yeah, look at this equal high, equal lows, right? So that's something I really like. So if it bounces, this can be a great um area of liquidity, right? This so price can be attracted here. Now, this is just a I should say big habit of mine, which is when you have such weekly candles, I would really like to see the price come here. I would really like to see that kind of manipulation. So that's at least something. Now, the chances of this happening mostly are less in comparison to anything else, because um, what should I say? Like what you are asking is we have a down close candle and the next week the price just goes above this. But it happens, right? It definitely happens. My point being this, I feel, is a big liquidity attractor, right? So price action may be attracted here. And if it does, this can be a great shot. But keep in mind what you really want to see ideally would be the price goes really fast here because it's pure manipulation, right? So that's what my thought process is on NZD and or JPY. Both of them have that kind of structure where ideally what I want is price coming here, right? So this one is more possible because this has less area to cover. But that would be my point here that if it can come here, I would like to short that or JPY and NZDJPY. So I do think I at least want one of them to come, and then I can short again or JPY. Sorry, NZDJPY would be a better short because AUD has been acting strong. Australian dollar has been acting strong. So keep in mind if during this time when it comes here, Australian dollar starts acting weak, then you will have to switch. Right, but it really happens that I mean I wouldn't say it really happens, but I feel like you cannot it's all about probabilities and probability wise this is a great zone. So I do think both of them should work if price comes here and price comes there. But my preference would be NZDJPY. The reason is because you can see clearly, like let's say this one, right? We have this zone. And let's take this. Oh, but it came down 1.9%. Or the other way to see it is let's say I take a short here. Let's say. So, and let's say I target these equal lows. That's 6.35, right? And similarly, there is a zone here. And where did that go? Let's say I take a short here, target this low, right? So 4.1. So the risk to reward is also better, right? So I think and if you see it's 1.3% away, that was I think 1.9. Point being the risk to reward is better there. So I would like to see uh NZDJPY come there like and manipulate it, like just directly comes there and gets really, really rejected here. So this is what I'm looking at, odd JPY and NZDJPY. Again, if manipulation happens, keep in mind both of them have a weekly down close candle, so that it's don't worry and think about it as manipulation mostly. Then lastly, I went through GBPCHF last week. I really like this zone, this in particular, right? And GBP USD, there isn't much to say on this one right now, so I would rather skip it and put it in this. Now, I wanted to talk about gold basically, and instead we'll look at the future chart. It's setting up beautifully, I feel. So with respect to gold, um, where did my lines go? Huh. Anyway, I guess they were on. Let me see if they were on the Forex pair. Yeah. So this is what I really, really like about this one. So let me remove this. So basically, this here is a weekly supply, right? So I think we have gotten one test and rejected, but I think if it can bounce, this is a great zone. Will it happen today or not, this week or not? I don't know. Look at this. So within this, there is a great daily zone also. So let me remove this line. So there's a great daily zone also. We have gone through it in the previous videos. I really like this trade. Uh, Ideally, this matches with this guy, um, the future pair. So what I would like to see is this zone we are almost in at the preferred version here, but there is this gap here. So I would like to see price come here or here and it matches with XLG USD and then we short. So it should match there also. I'm not saying. And why I love this is because what you saw in like the futures, I don't have this marked, but what I would like to see is something like this. Let me show. So yeah, right. And there's a daily zone. Uh, there's a daily supply here, and there's this. So I would like to see stop loss somewhere here, entry somewhere here, and we reject on gold. Why I like this is because silver just had a good rejection. So what I would like to really, really see is something like, and we have equal lows here, is something like when it comes here, gold is in that region, and we do something like this. That's something I would really like to see. I think silver has been weaker than gold, and if gold reaches the supply, silver can also start going down. I think this is a great zone. And let's say if it, even if it breaks this area, you have this zone, right? So let's say silver starts acting strong, then you have this zone. So I would like to see that when gold comes in this region, I would like to see silver either in this area, which I doubt, but at least in this area. Uh, so that's what something that I would like to see, and I was short it. So yeah, these were my focus list for this week. Again, GBP JPY, I think what we can do is something like this. I think this daily supply should hold. CAD JPY, there are two zones. Ideally, it should not be able to come above this, but stop loss here, entry here, and you can target these equal lows and take the profits there. So I think CAD JPY, if it gets rejected here, you're looking at this region, right? So this would be a 2 week hold almost, at least, right? That's what I think. GBP odd, GBP NZD almost same thing. I really like this trade. There's a daily supply here. I think it can come down here and then bounce again, right? But I do think there is something here. GBP has been acting weak. Similarly, GBP NZD, same thing here, here, and then above. Will it go above? I don't know. But point being, I'm trying to capture something like this. So that's my GBP NZD. USDJPY and CADJPY, I want both of them to come into supply together. I think something like this can happen. I do think if it starts showing weakness, it has taken all the liquidity here. Look, just I think 15-20 minutes back what I explained. But I think once it starts falling, this is the drop liquidity. This is where price should come. Uh, Again, all these I went into details. I will not go again into these, but I just wanted to give a quick overview. Euro JPY, and or I should stop doing the second ones. I went through the first ones, and those would be the mo most important ones. I think gold, these ones can work, but I want combinations. The two currencies should come together in the supply zone. So that's it for me. I hope this helps. I hope you can, apply your own system into these. These zones are damn beautiful. These zones have been like I utilize some of the previous data to calculate when a zone is good. On top of that, you can even see what are the why these zones are good. And I try to teach you that. I try to explain why these are good. You can apply your own system on top of that, and I trust me, these will really work. And so I hope you have a great trading week. I hope this helped. I will continue making those. I will continue sharing these zones and hope we all have a great, great trading weekend trading year. All the best, guys. Thank you so much.